Ladies and gentlemen, today we got nothing but good news. We got GTA 6. We also have Daddy Andrew Wilson talking about Battlefield 6 live. We're gonna get to that. We also have Warzone stuff. We got PS5 stuff and Xbox stuff. And that's the only part where people did not get along. But that's kind of like, we know about this, right? But shout out to every single one of you for 1,000 likes on the last video. And if a Giga Chat like you is new here, I cover all the big gaming news. So hit the subscribe bell. But coming in at number 9, Horizon Forbidden West has been confirmed to do quality mode and performance mode. This news is pretty good, where, you know, quality mode is gonna be 4K with full graphical effects plus 30 FPS. Just give a couple of minutes and you will see, like, I don't want to see Alloy face in 4K 30 FPS. And we're also hearing that there will be a 60 FPS mode. That's actually pretty poggers, but they have not confirmed whether this is gonna be like a 1080p. It's likely gonna be like 4K dynamic, but so far they have not confirmed it. Maybe they're still working on it. Maybe they're gonna make it 4K native, but that's very unlikely. And you know what? This got some people mad, okay? Shout out to the homie for adding me in the situation. This homie says that dont la PS5 ne peut jamais livrer du 4K60 en 2021. In English, it means that so PS5 cannot deliver 4K 60 FPS in 2021. And I'm like, yo, what planet are you living on, my guy? Like, just come back to planet Earth. We're not living in 2077 like Cyberpunk, where games are gonna be 16K 500 FPS. You can only achieve that on Soulja Boy 10 out there. You cannot achieve that on an Xbox or a Sony Pony console, alright? But this homie says that si on parle de 4K natif 60 FPS pour les jeux récents hors rétrocompatibilité, 90% des jeux sont aussi en 4K dynamique sur Xbox Series X. He basically pulled that card where, you know what, like, come on, man, just stop it, my guy. Like, we see that all the time. This homie says that he might be spitting facts. It's up to you to decide. He says that about 90% of the games are also 4K dynamic on the Series X. There was a theory that French people were more kind, but see, French or English, man, it doesn't matter. This is human nature. If you're gonna talk about PS5 and Xbox, we're ready to fight. But if it's about going out there and touching the grass, we just cannot do that, right? We just cannot do that. Also, in the news, AMD Fidelity affects super resolution to have massive impact on 4K gaming for the Xbox and the Sony Pony PS5. And basically, a dev came out. I'm just gonna summarize the whole thing like tick 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 tick. I'm just gonna give you an easy example. You know, this is Pokemon without the makeup, and this is Pokemon with the makeup. Let's say Pokemon with the makeup, that's like native 4K, and Pokemon without the makeup, that's like 1080p, not 4K. Basically, this dev is saying that 4K native, that's very demanding on the GPU. So what they're looking to do here is they're looking to bring the AMD technology where they're gonna turn 1080p into 4K native. It's not gonna be 4K native, but it's gonna look like 4K native, where people are gonna look at it, people are gonna get hit in the spot, but then they're gonna be told, you already know whenever Twitter detective's gonna find that out, well, they will have something to complain about, okay? But the dev says that even on the current gen consoles, hitting the 4K resolution mark is still challenging. Targeting 4K as native resolution is extremely demanding, even on the super high-end hardware. Having mechanisms to reconstruct the frame and make it look virtually identical to native 4K while paying a far lower cost in performance will be massive. On the other hand, Raven Software came out with the new update, and essentially, man, all I gotta say here is that it's $1 billion company, man, and this is all what we're getting. So they're constantly adding, they're constantly removing the playlist. They have done a little bit of nerfs, and I'm like, guys, like, give us new content. I don't even want to talk about the replies out here. There is so much complaints, and I would say it's kind of justified. People are giving each other tips. Hey man, you gotta uninstall and reinstall the game. And keep in mind, we're talking about a 500 billion gigabyte game. Imagine having to uninstall that and reinstall that every time they update. I mean, just couldn't be me, man. This is $1 billion company we're talking about, and it seems like that every week or every other week they're constantly adding and removing the older modes. I'm just saying, like, just leave a mode there, okay? Leave all the modes there. Work on putting a solo mode in the resurgence, in like the smaller battle royale mode. But it's Activision, we do not do anything logical here. On the other hand, Ben Studio came out. This is a Sony Pony studio, and they basically confirmed that they will be showing us a new IP very soon. We cannot wait to show you what we have been working on. This adds extra validity to the leak that we recently had regarding a PlayStation 5 stream by the end of this month. We recently heard that there will be like a full-blown PlayStation event, and now Ben Studio is saying that they cannot wait to show us what they're cooking. So maybe They're gonna show us that at the PlayStation event. Also in the news, Project Typhoon. This is gonna be an Xbox exclusive AAA co-op open world game. There are rumors going around that this might be announced at E3. This news is coming from Jess Corden from Windows Central. He has been teasing this game for some time now, and he says that this game is gonna be launching in 2022, and we're likely gonna see at the Xbox E3 show on June 13. And let's be real, the only big show is gonna be that of Xbox at E3. If Xbox flops there, man, that's gonna be sad. And I'm already seeing some of the Sony ponies out there. They're like, hopefully they flop hard. And I'm like, dog, why do you want to see the opposite party be sad, right? Like, let's actually hope that this is good, because if the Xbox show flops, then Sony's gonna do helicopters with their willies, and it's just gonna give them more leg room, and they're gonna be like, we do not need to show God of War gameplay. You want to see God of War gameplay, right? So just like that, we also have homies that want to see Halo Infinite gameplay looking good. Now, speaking of GTA 6, the game that will never release, we actually got some leaks coming from the homie Tom Henderson. Recently, he leaked that Battlefield 6 early trailer video. It turned out to be legit, and now he says that I heard recently that in GTA 6, some missions will reward you in Bitcoin instead of cash for completing some missions. Yo, that is kind of sus, okay? The stock market feature will return with the addition of a broker for different cryptocurrencies. If GTA 6 incorporates this right, it's huge for crypto. Just so there is no confusion, I mean in-game payments of Bitcoin. These payments will come from the more higher up characters that needs to transfer high amount of untraceable cash and fast. Just so there's even less confusion, I'm not joking. This is what I heard from someone that I trust, and it will likely not be called Bitcoin per se, but it will be a cryptocurrency. That being said, always take info like this with a bit of salt. And he recently said that we're gonna be having a male and female protagonist. The game is gonna be set in the modern time, despite what we have heard previously that this game is gonna be set in the 1980s. That's literally like everybody's saying right now. Everybody think that it's gonna be set in the 1980s. Even I thought it's gonna be set in the 1980s, but who do you trust in this information? Do you trust all the Cat Williams out there, or do you trust the homie Tom Henderson? I don't know, man. This man has been right in the past, and I'm pretty sure he would not be capping. Like, he doesn't even do YouTube that much. He does like one stream here and there, and he got like other stuff. So I'm pretty certain he has nothing to gain from capping from this situation. But let's be real, we're talking about GTA 6. Like, this game is just never gonna come. Like, we're gonna be 80 years old. There's a saying in Urdu, जब हमारी कब्र में टांगे लटकी होंगी ना, तब GTA 6 आएगी. Also in the news, PlayStation Insider teases jaw-dropping PlayStation 5 games that will be coming soon, and this information is coming from Imran Khan. He's an industry insider. He has been spitting facts for a very long time. He says that there are games in the near future that looks very, very good and like somewhat jaw-dropping, I would say. He's the same guy that said a couple of months ago, you know, when Spiderman skin was announced to be exclusive for Marvel Avengers, I'm not even sure if that came or not. He said that in the future there will be a lot of sad kids out there because Microsoft will be like acquiring a lot more exclusives. Sony will be doing the same. A couple of weeks after that, we heard that Daddy Phil Spencer acquired Bethesda, and you already know, like, PlayStation is looking to one-up them. They announced 25 games, and we have Microsoft out there trying to acquire every single studio out there. So he said that, and he was spitting facts. So let's see if he's spitting facts in this situation or not. Now, speaking of Battlefield 6, Daddy Andrew Wilson came out, and this is what he has to say.
Industry's on fire. More people have recognized the value of games. Our kind of network of players is growing. We've got great content. You mentioned Battlefield coming this year, in addition to FIFA and Madden and so many other great things.
Any details you can give us on Battlefield? How big do you think this will be?
Well, I think it's going to be huge. And Battlefield is just such a great franchise. It's been a number of years since we're in the market with that game. We're going to announce next week on June 9th, we're going to kind of do our release trailer as a small kind of snippet of, consumer demand. We did just a teaser yesterday, and the results are through the roof. And while it's just a teaser that we did, and so it doesn't really speak to the game itself, we're going to do a lot more of that next week. It does speak to just how much anticipation there is in the market. We broke all kinds of records with views and retweets and likes and that kind of thing. So I feel really good about where we're going. I love what the team is doing with the game. And now clearly this is reinforcing that there's a lot of kind of anticipation in the market as well.
Love him or hate him, but he do be spitting facts. This tweet did 155,000 100,000 likes, which is massive, okay? But coming in at number 1, this is something that I needed to cover yesterday, but I'm a little bit late on the situation. Apparently, Xbox Game Pass came out, and they said that June is our favorite month. It rhymes with soon, and that's where we saw Olsen, he's a social media manager for Battlefield, saying, wait a minute. So this is kind of sus, because recently we had rumors that suggested that Battlefield 6 is gonna be on the Game Pass day 1. I know that as soon as people heard the Xbox Game Pass, people think that it's not gonna be on PS5. It's gonna be on all the platforms, but if this is really real, it's also gonna be on the Xbox Game Pass day 1. But check out this video on the screen, hit the subscribe bell so I can interrupt you every time you're about to score on your crush. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.